Hello and welcome to the July 8th, 2024 Tualatin City Council meeting. Tonight we're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance, led by me. Please place your hands over your hearts. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Next, we have public comments. If anybody wants to address the council regarding an issue not on the agenda tonight. Do we have anybody, Nicole? No. Okay, well, we're through that. The next item is the consent agenda.
I think it's the new employee introduction.
Oh, I'm sorry. I missed that. Okay, we have a new employee introduction.
Good evening, Council President Pratt and members of the City Council. As you know, I am Megan George, your Deputy City Manager in Tualatin, and I am here tonight to introduce the newest member of the City Manager's Office, Erica Pagel. It sounds like bagel, but with a P. That's how she taught me how to say her name.
Yeah.
So Erica started at the end of May and is serving as our office coordinator in our department. She comes to us from the nonprofit world where she worked in administration, customer service, and marketing roles, and she actually has a long history with the city of Tualatin. She spent a good portion of her childhood here and graduated from Tualatin High School.
Yep.
As office coordinator, Erica will serve as the glue for our work group, providing support to our communications, community engagement, and records management programs. She will also be providing support to you all, the City Council, and as you can see this evening, we are training her up on serving as Nicole's backup over there at the dais. In the time that Erica's been with the city so far, I can share that she is one of the most organized and positive people that I have ever had the pleasure to work with, and I am extremely grateful that she decided to land in Tualatin. So with that, thank you for your time this evening, and please help me welcoming Erica to the city.
Thank you, Erica. It's very nice to meet you this evening. Do you have anything that you'd like to share with us about your time so far in Tualatin? Well, your time so far working for the city of Tualatin.
So I want to say thank you for having me here, and it has only been like a month and a half maybe, but it feels longer in a very good way. I love the team I work with, and we are a very great cohesive group, and I'm just thankful to be here.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks. Okay, now we have a consent agenda. The consent agenda will be enacted with one vote. I'll ask Ian if anybody would like anything removed for consideration separately.
I do have a clarification.
Counselor Gonzalez?
Sorry, I apologize. I did ask for recognition first. So I do have one clarification. The resolution amending the fee schedule, are we voting, it says to rescind it? Because I am not going to vote for that to be approved. If I vote yes on the consent agenda, am I voting for that to be approved? Okay. I had voted no for that originally. That's the one I voted no for last week? No.
No.
Core area parking
Okay.
district
That's up
tax,
for vote
which is
later.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, so.
I move to approve the consent
Well,
agenda.
I have to read them.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, so the three items. The first is consideration of approval of the work session and regular meeting minutes of June 24, 2024. Consideration of resolution number 5792-24, awarding a contract for the Nyberg Creek Trail construction documents and professional services to 3J Consulting, Inc. And finally, consideration of resolution number 5784-24, amending the City of Tualatin fee schedule and rescinding resolution number 5712-23.
I would now like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda as read.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Next, we have a special report from the Tualatin Historical Society, and I'm guessing Ross Baker will be speaking to us.
Somebody's gonna maybe put my slides up there. Am I supposed to tap to speak? It's on, okay. Thanks for having me here again. I appreciate it. We always love the opportunity to brag about what we're doing at the Historical Society, but I also saw the complete packet of 150 pages of documents that you guys had to prepare for this meeting. So I'll go through our stuff pretty quickly, and you slow me down or just ask me a question if there is one. We'll move forward to the overview. I'm not going to read through all these. On my piece of paper, I have some things I really wanted to highlight. You have the package. You can read it yourself. One of the things that we're proud of is that we had an LGBTQ event at the Heritage Center. We had a panel of outstanding spokespeople up there. And actually, my daughter was the moderator, so I'm particularly proud. That video is on our webpage, and it's also on our YouTube channel. And we're launching an effort, much as we did in the past, to reach out to the Hispanic community and others to get some oral histories and get that piece of time that we want people to look back 50 years from now and see what was happening in different parts of our community in Tualatin. Our rentals slowed a bit this year. Don't really have any explanation, but it's sort of I'm framing you for what comes later because our budget is a little bit less revenue this year and more expenses, but we'll get to that. History Day, we now have 2 schools. Last year we restarted after the pandemic with 1, but now Tualatin and Byram were both involved in that. And so that's building back up again. The one thing we're proud of is that we have a series in our garden, if you've never been there, there are like 9 or 10 heritage plants there with all the provenance of why those are so important to the history of Tualatin. We've picked out 6 of them, and a former board member, Jenny Reed Stout, has actually made the artwork for us to start offering a new item in our gift shop. So I'm sure that by Christmas you'll be able to add those to your list of special things you buy for those in your life. We had 3 high school students that have been working with us for about a year now on various projects. It's been a real effort for us to try to bring that younger group in. Actually, it was 4, but one of them graduated. Okay, move on to the next slide. I'm not going to read these at all. There's about 12.5 programs on this list right here. It's sort of the things that we've done that are consistent with our mission statement. We had over 24 programs for the year because on the next slide, what you'll see is actually the ones that are focused on art. And we know it's important to the city and to the people who live here that we also do art-related things. Again, you can read that list faster than I can say what it's on it, but I did want to mention the first one, and that's the Tualatin Public Art. With the help of the city, we reached into the vaults and we were able to display at the Heritage Center the actual art that the city owns. So a lot of time it doesn't get to see the light of day. Sorry. Okay. Can't believe I'm nervous. Okay, it's not me. Next one. That's just a picture from, mini pictures from History Day. Between the students and the parents and the volunteers, we had over 200 people on site that day going through interesting things like the one-room schoolhouse, which is very popular, pioneer artifacts, laundry, toys, Ice Age, native peoples and native plants, which is something new that we've added since we restarted after the pandemic. Okay? This is the budget thing. Again, you have the package. We're obviously not going to go through each one. We are going to come in, for the first time since I've been the president, we're going to have slightly less revenue and slightly more expenses than we thought we would. A lot of it is because of increased cost. You know, everything post-pandemic is costing more, like insurance, even putting out our newsletter or paying for our internet. But it's going to be 4 or 5% off, so it's not the end of the world. We're well-funded. At today, it's not actually in this report, but we have about $130,000, $140,000 in our account. It's at the highest level it's been in years. So we're going to be drilling down into some things like operational expenses and breaking out some of those things so we can do a better job of managing that stuff in the future and not end up at the end of the year with a surprise. Okay? Next. We're always proud. These were announced last November. We're proud of the people who are the stars in our organization, and we reward them with either the President's Award or the Lafke Martinazzi Award. What's not on this page is that Daphne Sanchez Flores was the winner of the Tualatin Historical, we renamed that, their scholarship. it's embarrassing. I can't. Okay, anyway, I'm getting the it's okay from Bridget. So unfortunately, we didn't, this report had to be in a couple of weeks ago to the city, but we're proud of Daphne, and she'll be going to Portland Community College to start off her career. Next. So this is some of the stuff on our task list for 24-25. Full disclosure, there are a couple of things that are rolled over from last year that we didn't get done, but okay. But we did get a lot done. We're going to continue our work on getting some oral histories done for the LGBTQ community. We had a visioning workshop last October where we just decided we spent a whole day working with a consultant to figure out what were the four most important things that we were looking for in board members. Well, we didn't decide in advance it would be four, but that's what it ended up being. And leadership and social media, skills and volunteer coordination and access to like-minded organizations, in other words, networking, we felt were important. And since then, and I'll come to this foil after next, we've added a couple of new board members that have helped us target these areas. Anything else on here? We're working with the Parks Department to make sure we save one of those Ice Age drinking fountains. Not that it'll work, but just to be on display in the garden there. And also we have a propeller from that 1952 plane crash that's been gifted to us if we want it. And we're going to be talking to the Parks Department about the possibility of perhaps displaying it outside as a piece of artwork or something. I don't know. It's just on the list of things to talk about with the city. I think one of the things that's coming up that's really cool that we actually have, we've had the first couple of meetings. We have another one on Saturday. This happened in 2000. It was a stroll in the cemetery at dark. And there were characters that were on the graves like the Galbraiths and the Sweeks and the Martinazzis. And you would walk through the cemetery. Of course, this is around Halloween, obviously. And then the ghosts of these historical characters from Tualatin, they'd have a little story that they would tell you. And we want to try to monetize it so we can help raise money for the Winona Cemetery. They're small and their finances aren't as robust, and so look for that. And if that happens, you'll probably have to pay to get in, but it'll be worth it. Okay. The Sweek House. You can go ahead to the next slide, please. Althea Pratt, her daughters Rebecca and her sister. They met with Mayor Bubenik and with Ross Hoover and Sherilyn Lombos. And there's a dialogue started as to how we might in the next years find a way to make sure that asset for the city ends up in public hands. I won't be participating in that because that's not my role, but what we have done is we've set up a Sweek House task force. We're going to be working with Rebecca and her husband Richard to find ways to get the house open for public days so the public can finally get in to see that. And so we've arranged for a pro bono arborist, and we're arranging for some other teams to maybe go in and do some weeding. In other words, just to make it safe so the public could have access to it for open house days, for example. So that'll be a big one for us this year. Next one, please. Here's our two new board members, Stella, a young lady who came to us. In fact, she lives herself in the Salzer Jurgens house, one of our historical homes. She's really a fanatic about making sure that we get out to the public and tell them about these historic homes that are in our community. We have things like our walking tour map. We have a driving map. We have other things. She doesn't think we're leveraging those enough with the community, and she wants to work to make sure that the word gets out. So we need that kind of help. Matt Klinke actually came to us during the pandemic and helped us build the webpage, which is what we were doing during those years when we couldn't do anything else, and we're really proud of our new website. He's a manager in the high-tech area, and I don't know, I think those two combined in age are probably younger than me, so it's good to have the young blood there. Okay, next slide. There's the board. I think you know most of us, all of us. If you don't, stop by sometime and we'll make sure that we introduce you. And then finally, the last slide. We wanted to make sure that you knew that the Heritage Evening is set for 9/13, and we have something very special this year. We have a historical conjurer who is going to be the evening's entertainment, and he's going to do magic. It's historical magic, like the old stuff, like pulling a rabbit out of a hat thing, but then he's going to tell you the history, the background on why that's a trick and everything. So that's going to be kind of cool. And we'll have all this. We're not going to do a live auction this year, but we will have a silent auction inside. We'll have good food. We'll have wine. We'll have the wine pool, the raffle, well, all the things we normally do. But this year it'll be something fun. So mark the 13th of September, and very soon we'll have tickets both for the event and raffle tickets online for sale. Any questions?
Counselor Reyes?
Thank you. Great presentation. Couple of questions. We know where you are and located and all, but for the people that are listening, where are you located?
We're located on Sweek, right next to the police station, 8700 Sweek, if that's helpful. Or you can go to tualatinhistory.org and you can find a map there too.
And then you mentioned you were in need of more Hispanic voices. Is this similar to recording their history in Tualatin as we did about 2 years,
Yeah.
3, 4 years ago? I can't remember, but.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's something that, yes, is the short answer.
Okay, because I have some people in mind as I was reading today's agenda. And then what do I do in order to get you connected with them? I can't.
You can send something to ask at tualatinhistory.org, which is sort of our info at Tualatin. We don't have info, we have ask at tualatinhistory.org. And we'll put them in connection with Sandra, our historian, who does most of our oral histories. But we spread out now. We have 3 or 4 people doing them, but Sandra is the one who really decides who in our organization would be best suited to do that. We don't have any Spanish speakers, unfortunately. Maybe you do an oral history for us sometime.
Absolutely. I was thinking about a family that been here about 30 years, Puerto Rican family. So, I mean, that's what I have a lot of friends in mind. I just, it just reminded me as I was reading the agenda, I was like, oh, I should ask him how I can do that again. And one thing that helped that one time that we did the Julia's story is that you guys were at Viva Tualatin.
Yes.
Are you going to be at Viva Tualatin this year?
We're not planning on it, no.
Okay. So that was very helpful, I think, for her as well, for her job.
Right, and so you would do an oral history, you'd be the interviewer.
I can interview
and-
people, yeah.
Yeah, and then you could, if they feel more comfortable, they
Well,
could do it in
speak
Spanish.
English, yeah. Yeah.
Either one, okay, that would be wonderful.
And also, I was looking at your finances, or your fiscal year, July 1st through
Same
June
as the city.
30th. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, so we didn't have the full year available when we had to hand in the information. It was only the 11 months. But we still came in over budget.
Excellent. Thank you.
Counselor Hilliard?
Thank you. I just wanted to say, for folks who haven't had the opportunity to spend any time in the Heritage Center, it's really pretty amazing. Thank you for all you do for our community, past, present, and future. I'm in there about monthly, and there's always something new and different. And your choice to engage so many different parts of our community is, it's just inspiring. It's how.
Thank you.
It's just amazing, and thank you for all you do.
Counselor Brooks?
I wanted to thank you too, and if somebody was interested in doing the oral history, they could call too and make an appointment, or they email.
They can certainly call if they feel that's the most comfortable thing for them. It's helpful for us to keep an email, so we have like a paper track.
Okay.
In some cases, especially like, for example, on the LGBTQ side of things, Emily would be the one who would, Sandra won't be doing those for her. We do have an agreement with Mike Lofton from Digipix. He wants to do all the filming for us pro bono, so we have, that expense covered, and Emily, of course, would volunteer to do it. So it's helpful just to get whoever would like to volunteer in that example into the right hands to make sure it gets done.
Okay, good information. And then, excuse me, sorry. I don't know why this happens when I talk.
You must be nervous too.
No, I'm not. I just, every once in a while, I just haven't talked enough. The other thing I wanted to say was just acknowledging Emily around that project, that people are so excited about it, and I just wanted to say, I know that we had city council that night for the panel, but from what I understand, the recording of it is online.
It's on our landing page on our website. Scroll to the bottom, it's there. And you can also go to our YouTube channel. It's one of the more recent videos that have been added.
And then the other thing I want to say is my neighbor just joined because she just had such a blast volunteering for the history days for the school.
Judy? No.
Denise.
Denise. Oh, Denise.
Yeah.
Yeah, Denise. I
Yeah.
met with Denise yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I know that it's a lot of fun to volunteer at the Historical Society. If somebody wanted to do weeding, or is somebody living in the Sweet House, or is it?
Yes, the
Okay.
Sweet House. Yes, there's somebody living
So
there.
it'd be
yeah.
like a day where they would, oh, that's nice.
We've set up this special committee to address that. And so if they're interested in volunteering for anything to help at the Sweet House, they could just contact probably me for now, because we haven't decided who the chairperson's going to be for the committee yet. We know who the people are, but hopefully one of them will step forward and be the chairperson. They could just reach out to me.
Okay. And then my last question is, where is the propeller from?
There was an airplane crash south of town in 1952. It was a Flying Fortress, and it ran into another plane midair, and it went down, and 11 service people and one other person who wasn't in the service were in the plane. And there is also a program that was recorded about that. If you go to the programs section of our webpage, you can watch that video as they discuss what happened that day.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
And I just want to say too, I was at the Independence Day party,
Our potluck,
celebration, potluck, and it was such a nice time, and
It
always
was.
have fun every time I go. And this year I've done a lot of the arts things and seen the plays, and so I'm really excited about the arts ventures and the native plants ventures. So thank you so much for all the diverse things that you're doing over there.
I'll pass that on. Thank you.
Councilor Gonzalez?
Thank you very much for coming and sharing this with us. I did participate in the oral history a couple of months ago as well, and I do have some people in the Hispanic community who I can probably put you in touch with. Regarding this home that needs cleanup and services, I think I can help with that as well, provide with trucks, maybe some volunteer labor.
Okay.
So I'll be reaching out to help coordinate that, wherever that person may be.
That's great.
Okay.
That's great. Yeah, that
Wonderful.
would be
Thank you very
fantastic.
much.
Yeah, because I think people want to see what's behind those bushes back there.
Yeah.
I think there's a genuine interest from the public, and we'll probably charge to get in.
We have a full landscaping team, trucks, we can provide all that for us, okay?
That would be great. That's absolutely wonderful. That's the best news I heard tonight. Thank you.
Well, I just have to thank you for the Historical Society is just like a gem in our city. It's a wonderful thing. And I wanted to ask you a question, though, and I don't want to make you nervous, but can you tell us about your scholarship program and like what criteria you use to select who gets awarded the scholarship?
Yeah, well, you don't have to be interested in history. I mean, as long as you're a Tualatin student and from Tualatin High School, and you write an essay, it's the primary thing, to write an essay on why history is important. I know that they look, I'm not on the committee myself, but I do know that once they have those are the only two hard things. It has to be a Tualatin student, and it has to be, you have to submit the essay. It's a $3,000 scholarship, which for us is a lot of money to do, and the committee likes to look at people who may have themselves personally had some historical obstacles to overcome for whatever reason. They don't really list those or quantify them in any way, but it's just always in the backs of the minds of those people. And in that, in the face of some diversity or some challenges in their own life, they're able to still perform well academically or socially because they're on some teams or whatever. Again, those aren't quantified. It's just this person must have had it tough, but yet look what they're doing, and they wrote a good essay too. The scholarship application itself is available online. It's pretty simple. I mean, there's not much to it, but we typically have 15, 20 people apply for it. So,
Wow.
And Chris Tunstall, for example, is on that, as is Chris Tunzel's a Nyberg, if none of you know Chris, and also Rick Wheelock, our manager. It's like the only committee that he serves on. He really wants to do that.
And then finally, I want to say that I've gone to several of these heritage evenings, and they're just a lot of fun.
They are fun.
And you typically have nice weather for some reason, so.
Yeah,
I'd like
we
to order
usually
that
get
up.
lucky. We'll have the tarp out, and in fact, on Saturday, we're picking up the wine from Michael Alberti. He writes for the Oregonian and for Wine and something, writing Spectator. I don't know, I'm not a wine person, but he lives in Tualatin, but he's like a famous author, and he gives us our wine each year. And so we're gonna go pick up, 4 cases of wine from him. So there'll be something to drink for anybody who wants to come.
Oh, Councilor Reyes?
Just one more question about volunteering. Do you take young teens volunteers? I have a few people that have asked me about volunteering.
The youngest that we have right now was a freshman and will be a sophomore in the
A
fall, so I'm
sophomore.
not sure what you mean, if it's like.
13, 14-year-old. Yeah, like
We've
a
tried
freshman in
that,
high
we
school.
haven't had much, we've tried it a couple of times without much luck.
Okay.
So the answer is maybe.
If they want to, right, they can volunteer? If they really want to.
I think it would depend what they would want to do. If they wanted to, I don't know, use power equipment to help clean up the yard, no.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
If they
you're right.
wanted to help translate an interview that was done in Spanish to English, yeah, maybe. So I would just say have them approach us, and we would discuss it with them.
Okay. So
Yeah.
she's going to be a freshman this fall.
Well, we have a fantastic person who had been a freshman last year, and they're not available yet, but they've been working on Instagram stuff for us.
Yeah, like social
Like
media.
10, 15-second videos of Tualatin history. There's 3 or 4 of them in the works right now. I'm not bragging about it because we're not done yet. But that's the kind of stuff that 14, 15-year-olds are really good at.
All right, thank you.
I think that's it. Thank you so much, Ross.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Stay cool.
Next, under general business, we have 3 items. Our first one is consideration of resolution number 5793-24, authorizing the city manager to sign an intergovernmental agreement between the Tiger Tualatin School District and the city of Tualatin, setting forth requirements for participation in the school resource officer program. And Chief Pickering.
Well, Council President Pratt and members of council, good evening. I am Greg Pickering, the Chief of Police here in Tualatin. And I brought just a presentation tonight on a year in review, the School Resource Officer Program here in Tualatin. I'm going too fast. So, the Tualatin School Resource Officers are dedicated to the growth of each child through several different ways. Those are listed here as ensuring that the child feels safe in their classroom and in their classroom environments, promoting an open door policy to all students. If you've ever been to the schools and see where the offices of the school resource officers are, they both have offices, one at Hazelbrook for Officer Hernandez and one at the high school for Officer Brian Miller. They're actually in the middle of the school. They're not near the administrative offices. They're in the middle of the school. They have large candy bowls. And if you ever go and stop by, there's usually kids in there getting candy. They do interact with kids in a positive way, and we'll talk about that here in a little bit. And they work to support staff in the community in the school environment. So this is a snapshot of actually a presentation put together by the school district. So TTSD actually put these pieces together. And it just shows quickly some of the things that the school resource officers are involved in that are not just law enforcement efforts, that they're actually community-based things. Like being in this for Officer Hernandez, who is at the middle school, being in their staff meetings to be a resource for the teachers that are and the staff that are there. Being at PSO meetings to meet with parents to talk about school issues with parents. All the different events you see there with Officer Hernandez. Officer Brian Miller, if you know Officer Brian Miller, is very involved in the community. He lives in the community. His kids go to the schools here. And again, works on community boards, not only at the district level, but at the state level. He's on the Oregon School Resource Officers Association board, and is very involved with the district and with the kids. One of the things you'll see on both of them is they both are actively involved in listening sessions with TTSD students and with staff. So some things that the SROs do on a daily basis and throughout the year, you'll see through the fall events, they attend all the football games, basketball games, volleyball games, all of the dances. Officer Miller coached freshman football. And then they, several staff meetings and connective meetings throughout the district. Again, they're active all throughout the school year, both with winter events and the spring events. And again, just there to be a smiling face, but also to serve as that protection for our youth in the schools. This looks kind of silly, but this was actually done by both Officer Hernandez and Officer Miller, where they just took the opportunity to kind of pay attention to the positive interactions they had with kids each day. And they averaged about 40 interactions that were in positive natures with kids on a daily basis. At the middle school, that's Officer Hernandez just circulating through lunch, circulating in the hallways and passing time. Officer Miller, that's being available in the office, having interactions with kids that are involved in sports, having a daughter that goes to the school and being interactive with her and her friends throughout the day. So they do more than just be there to be police officers. So the building equity coordinators throughout the district actually did a survey of students. There was 211 responses that you see that came in. And as you see, over 90% of the students that were surveyed, this is students that were surveyed, said that they feel very safe, extremely safe, or feel fine when they're at school with the presence of a school resource officer. So again, this just goes to show that the students' voices are being paid attention to and the fact that they feel safe that the SROs are there. Again, they're there to maintain positive and safe environment for the students, but that also means that they're there to address disciplinary issues that come up. So we're going to take a deeper dive, sort of. We're kind of skim over the top because there's a lot of data in this information and it can get very granular, and I don't want to overwhelm or get too much into the weeds when it comes to the data. But the data is there. So the SRO combined total, they had 47 incident reports through the schools last year. There was 21 of those that resulted in an arrest. No missing person reports, thankfully. 47 supplemental reports, which means those are reports that are in cases that have been referred from maybe from DHS or from another school or from another entity where they're being involved with. And 3 field contacts, which would be typically somebody that's not school-related being on school grounds. So just a quick glance at some of the breakdown of some of the things that they deal with. And again, I want to just touch on the fact that these are actual criminal natures that they're dealing with in the school environment. Again, those are some drug crimes, the biggest thing being assaults or harassments, and DHS referrals. The other category is things that the officers feel like they need to address or document to be sent to other entities or to other situations. Again, there are 6 sex crimes that were reported to officers. And these are resources that are available to the students on a daily basis. So sometimes they're not afraid, or sometimes they don't know how to get in touch with the police if they've been victimized. But having somebody in the school right there readily accessible is something that's beneficial. This is a big list, I understand that. And again, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that, but as you can see, these are incidents that have been dealt with in the school by the school resource officers. These are crimes. These are criminal actions that have occurred in the school and have been handled by the SRO in their capacity. Just on a side note, if we were to pull our SROs out of the school, you're going to get a normal police officer who is doing their normal patrol shifts, who don't have the relationships, who don't have the connections inside the schools that our SROs work very, very hard to maintain. So these are the crimes that are being handled, and not only on a criminal basis, maybe they may be a crime that they're investigating, but are handled in other ways rather than pushing them through the criminal justice system. So the juvenile arrests, again, you saw the crimes that have been reported to them. This is just a quick list of the arrests that were made. And again, these are for crimes. These are not we're not taking the runaways, the person who has a cigarette, the person who has the Zyn can, and referring them to the juvenile department. Those are being handled in a disciplinary matter, typically through the counselors or through other means, rather than just pushing them to the criminal justice system. Again, another chart to talk about the last 5 years, and again, this is done by race. Again, these are This was done through the school district, again, but predominantly you can see that our students that are white and our students that are Hispanic, which really emulates our population, is what is being dealt with at this school. And again, as you see, it's predominantly males that are having contact with our SROs. This was something I think is super important to bring up, though. So we had a presentation to the Law Enforcement Council earlier this year, put on by the Washington County Juvenile Department. And what we learned in there, some people may have heard of what they consider the school-to-prison pipeline, where all the SROs are doing are sending kids off into the criminal justice system. But if you look at the statistics in Washington County, the Washington County Juvenile reported that less than 13% of referrals actually come from school resource officers. The 87% of referrals of juveniles to the juvenile department come from outside of schools. So our school resource officers are not just referring kids to the juvenile or to the criminal justice system. They're actually doing other ways to deal with the disciplinary issues inside the school and with school resources themselves. There was 190 total referrals for criminal actions in Washington County. 30 of those came from Tigard and Tualatin combined. So that's about 15% of the total number of juvenile deferrals from school resource officers came from Tigard and Tualatin. Our students are thriving in the environment that we've built around our SROs. Again, using our school population in Tualatin, as you can see, 0.3% of students in Tualatin have anything to do with the criminal justice system or a juvenile arrest through the city of Tualatin. And again, this is just a quote from Brian Miller, that we believe in open door policy as Tualatin SROs, and that each day students will come to our office, chat, grab a piece of candy, and be assured that they are there to help. So I know this is kind of quick and over the top, but again, I just wanted to take a little bit of time and just really reiterate the importance of our school resource officers and the program that we have here in the community. Any questions?
Councilor Brooks.
Thank you for the report and the information. I feel like I'm a little bit biased just because one of those school resource officers is my neighbor right now. One thing stuck out to me when we had that collaborative meeting between, I don't know if you were chief yet, but you were definitely on the force, between the councils and the school board around our SROs back a few years. And one of the things that I remember that stuck out to me was there was a disparity between people arrested in Tualatin and Tigard. And I'm just wondering if that statistic has changed at all. Do you know?
I don't know. I don't know. I know that our referrals to the juvenile department are down. For many years, there was actually a juvenile counselor from the juvenile department that worked at Tualatin High School. And so, again, the efforts around the school resource officers is more of the restorative justice and getting them into programs or getting them into assistance rather than just pushing a kid to the criminal justice system. So I can tell you that the number of referrals has decreased. I don't know what that exact number is.
Okay, I'd be curious just because I'm a curious person. And I just want to thank everybody. I'm glad that the kids feel safe around, most of the kids feel safe around the SROs, and that they're very approachable officers. And so thank you for your work.
Councilor Hillier.
Thank you, Council President Pratt. Thank you, Chief, for the presentation. This is a little bit outside the scope. As you know, this is near and dear to me because I see their interaction on a regular basis, and I know how important and what an incredible protective factor that the school resource officers are, not just for the students, but for the student support systems. I watch when DHS is coming. I watch, it brings me to tears many times how your officers handle these things, and they're all to be commended. I'm just curious if you hear or see or are involved with, I guess is a better question, the mandate or involvement from the Washington County District Attorney around the adverse childhood experiences. He's leading that whole push for the county. And I just wondered, because it's the open door, there are a lot of open door, a lot of conversations around that. And I'm wondering if the school resource officers and/or our department is involved in any of that.
Yeah, I have not been involved in it, and I'm not sure if our SROs have been. I know they have a very close working relationship with the Washington County Juvenile DA, Dustin Staton, and they work very closely when it comes to those situations. So I don't know exactly if they're part of that initiative.
Yeah, I don't know. It's really exciting what the direction that the DA is really wanting to help address trauma at the very lower levels so that we can continue to respond in the way that, kind of a strength-based way that you're talking about,
Right.
is let's refer to services versus put them into the system. And so I really appreciate that continued approach. Thank you.
Counselor Reyes?
Thank you for the presentation. Very, very useful. And it just brings a whole perspective on what goes on in the schools, since I don't get to have children to tell me what's going on. So, on page 11, you had some offenses there that on your presentation that I'm just curious because I don't know any of this. What's the difference between sexual harassment and possible sex abuse? And are these things that are happening that the kids report, or that's happening amongst kids, or is this something that they reported that's happening at their home or in their environment? I'm just curious.
It's anywhere. So I think the biggest thing is that the school resource officers are just that. They're a resource for students. Not only do they deal with issues that occur at school or during school hours, they also deal with issues that occur after hours at our home. They really work hard to be a trusted adult in that school, someone that kids can go to. I'll share my personal story because I was an SRO. I was assigned to Hazelbrook Middle School. My very first day as being an SRO, standing in the foyer welcoming kids into school, I had a young girl come up to me and say, "Hey, I need to talk to you. I was sexually abused over the summer." And that was my first experience as an SRO. So they do take situations from not only in school but outside of school as well. When you talk about the difference between sexual harassment and potential sexual abuse, sexual harassment is words or conduct. Sexual abuse would actually be physical touch.
Physical.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying that.
Of course.
Just curious. Yeah, thanks.
Counselor Gonzalez?
So, thank you very much for the presentation. This is so promising. It feels good to see the results there. I remember almost 3 years ago where they wanted not to have those SROs, and I was very much against it. I'm very much supporting the SROs and everything you guys do. It's so nice to see this information and how positive the feedback we're getting from the students and everything that they're involved with. I'm just so happy to see this information, how much it's really turned, and it's always been there. And we just went through a bad spell, but this is just great. Thank you very much, and please thank your team around all this. I know it's hard work at times, but we're so appreciative of them. So.
Thank you.
Oh, Counselor Sacco?
I was going to make a motion.
Oh, well, I want to.
Oh, you want to? Sorry.
have a discussion
I'm just
here.
all out of turn today.
That's okay, we're good. It's a hot summer day. I want to, the SRO program is great, and I I was here when the discussions occurred, and it was great that everybody came together and helped define the role and make it a better program in the school. But we're here tonight to talk about a resolution, and so I have to hit the money issue. Because obviously there's overwhelming support for the SRO program from the
Sure.
council, but my question is, I guess, where did this, we basically, like the city, I feel like this benefits the school district itself just as much as it does the city. Our kids are extremely important, but I don't understand why the school district only pays for a quarter of the cost of the two officers.
So the contract was negotiated prior to my tenure as chief. So this is a contract that has been in place for several years. And there's been adjustments made for cost of living increases and such. But the actual nuts and bolts, if you will, of the contract hasn't been reviewed in probably about 10 years. Yeah,
So that would be my only, I overwhelmingly support this, but I really feel like the school district should be asked to pay like their half at least, you know, let's, to make it fair
Sure.
to the city, because those are, as much as they're important in the schools, it's also people, that's like probably a person you don't have out on the streets, right?
Correct,
So-
yeah. It's two bodies that we have dedicated to the school, essentially year-round. So even though school's not in session now.
Right, I know
Our
they're
SROs
always
are running our
involved.
summer camp, which is, you know, impacts roughly 200 kids throughout the summer. And so they are continuing the active role of taking care of the youth in our community. And I know that there is some discussions, as we have a new superintendent coming in, of
Right.
time of potentially revisiting the contract and what that looks like.
Okay. So is that something I can ask that's added? How do we get these?
Yeah, I think that if you want, I don't know that it needs to be added to the resolution, but if you could add and maybe in the motion that adopt the resolution and direct staff to renegotiate the formula with the school district.
Okay. Does someone want to make a motion?
I have to go make coffee.
I'll make a motion. I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 5793-24, authorizing the city manager to sign an intergovernmental agreement between the Tiger Tualatin School District and the City of Tualatin, setting forth requirements for participation in the School Resource Officer Program, and with an amendment to ask staff to look at renegotiating the division between the city responsibility and the school board responsibility.
Second.
And this is a voice vote, so I'll start with Counselor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Counselor Brooks,
Yes.
Counselor Sacco,
Aye.
Counselor Hillier,
Aye.
Counselor Reyes.
Yes.
And I vote aye also. Right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Keep track. Okay, next we have consideration of resolution number 5791-24, awarding a contract for website redesign and hosting to Largefoot LLC, DBA Juicebox, and authorizing the city manager to execute a contract. And Megan.
Hello again. I am Megan George, Deputy City Manager in Tualatin, and I am here to talk about our website and hosting contract. So my plan for tonight's presentation is to provide a bit of background on the project, to discuss the key takeaways we have heard so far from a few rounds of engagement, to seek approval from the City Council on resolution number 5791-24, and to discuss next steps, assuming that the City Council opts to approve the resolution this evening. So getting started here, according to our records, the city first launched a modern website in 2007. It was redesigned in 2012 by a company named AHA with an exclamation point, and then was refreshed, which is kind of a smaller scale redesign, in 2015, again by AHA. Since 2015, AHA has been sold and then sold again, which combined with our website's age has resulted in a difficult user experience for both the staff editing the website as well as the various community members who are visiting our website. It's resulted in technical glitches and an outdated design. So looking at the community survey that we completed at the end of 2023, the city's website was the #1 source of information of the sources listed, with over 60% saying it was a major source of information and over 90% saying it was either a major or a minor source of information. In considering a redesign of the city's website, we identified a few goals early on, one of which is to create an accessible, easy to navigate, community-centered experience for the various groups visiting our website. Another is to make it easy for staff to create and publish content that looks good. And third, to create a responsive website design that is adaptable across devices, meaning if you're looking at our website via your phone, it's going to look great. If you're looking at it via your tablet, it's going to look great. Or if you're looking at it on your 1999 desktop computer with dial-up internet, it'll still look good. All right. So we launched the request for proposals in March. We reviewed those proposals in April and May. We interviewed a few firms in May, and we are now ready to award the contract, which is the circled bubble there on your right. But before I get into the details of the contract, I thought I would take the opportunity to share updates on the rounds of engagement that we've had thus far. So starting with the community, we launched a survey on March 1st asking for people to share their experiences with our current website and what they thought could make it better. Some of the questions that we asked were, why do you currently visit the city's website? Are you able to find the information that you need? How often do you visit the website? What device do you use to visit the website? What other features would you like to see? And generally, what suggestions do you have for improvements? We received a few hundred responses, and I've pulled together a few themes which are on the slide. Some of these themes will be consistent across the next two slides that I share, which include staff feedback as well as the council's feedback. Mentioning a few of them, finding current city events is difficult, and a landing page calendar would be helpful. The interface is not user-friendly and needs a more intuitive navigation. The structure of the site is not intuitive. It's difficult to find current projects, especially ones that affect, you guessed it, traffic. Text sizes and website colors are difficult to read. It's difficult to find police info, community resources, and specific codes. There's a desire for better search functions, including a historical search, a keyword search. Desire to have easier access to bill pay. Offer a more prominent language option and more ability to change website font sizes for accessibility purposes. And a desire to have more updated photos and graphics. So as part of the survey, we also asked for volunteers to sign up for possible beta testing or focus groups. So at the point that we are ready to do more engagement, we have a list of interested parties already started. Okay, moving on to the staff survey, which was launched this spring as well. We had 51 responses, which is a good showing from our employee base. And again, we asked why people are visiting our website, whether they can find the information they need, what could make the website better, how are they accessing the website, and then a few additional questions for people who are responsible for editing the website. With that, the takeaways that we heard were that the current search functions are difficult to use, and staff, even though they are quite familiar with our website, will sometimes opt to just Google it instead of going to our website. If you've all tried to search for anything, you might have found it exceptionally difficult. A desire to have a what you see is what you get editor so that it's easier to see changes in real time. Desire for an easier content management system. Staff finds the current system challenging, speaks to some of the glitches that we're currently experiencing. Sharing GIS information a little bit more widely across the website. Organizing pages is difficult. Site organization is not intuitive. Calendar should be on the landing page. Offer a more prominent language option, and desire to have more web page layout options with higher quality photos and the ability to embed video. All right. So as you all know, we met with you in early April to talk through the website project as well. And from those meetings, we gleaned the following. A desire for better ability to look up council agendas, codes, ordinances, programs, renting facilities, etc. Desire for better digital wayfinding. Desire for a better search bar. Interest in having an AI chatbot. Interest in rethinking the site navigation. Desire to be able to sign up for specific notifications. This was a big one. Desire to add a, quote, warm touch for the community. Desire to make it easier to learn about volunteer opportunities. Desire to have easier contact information listed for city employees or services. Ability to track land use applications. The council should be under your government. I think we heard that from a few of you, as opposed to where you're currently located. The site organized by services as opposed to departments. Create a more mobile-friendly site, and create a site that is clean and friendly. So our plan in asking for feedback from the community and staff and the city council ahead of selecting a vendor was to ensure that we are designing the project to meet the desires of the various constituents right from the beginning. And we expect there to be multiple opportunities for feedback throughout the project. So for the city council, that could mean input on the navigation of the site, as well as the design, and certainly beta testing eventually when we get to that point. For the community, that could be follow-up conversations, maybe in focus group formats about the projects page. I know a list of at least 15 people from the CIO program that have many thoughts to share on that one in particular. So to summarize that, basically, this was the start of our engagement. Throughout the project, we expect more engagement, and certainly at the end, when we're testing things to see if our assumptions made sense, we'll want even more. All right, so that brings me to the contract, which is before you this evening, in resolution number 5791-24. So the website RFP launched on March 13th and closed on April 8th. We received 13 proposals in total, and those were scored by our review committee for the pricing proposal as well as the technical proposal. We chose to interview 5 different vendors, and Largeford LLC, or they call themselves Juicebox or Juice Boxers. They were the highest ranked proposer, and their proposed project total is just over $114,000. But you'll see in the staff report and resolution, we are requesting spending approval of $150,000. And for all the respondents provided a pricing estimate based on what they know about our website currently. But at this point, we have not provided anyone access to our analytics or our content management system or our back-end data. And once we do provide that access, that may inform their approach and level of effort. So for that reason, we are requesting slightly higher spending authority with a 10% contingency. And of course, the city will only pay for services rendered. We will not issue a check for $150,000. This project is funded in the fiscal year 2024-2025 budget, which was adopted last month. And tonight, I am seeking the City Council's approval of the resolution, allowing the city manager to execute the contract. Before I turn it over to you, wanted to bring this slide back up to talk a little bit about the project next steps. So we expect the project to take a good chunk of time to work through. Our creative communications and marketing program manager is the project lead. She'll be working with support from me as well as an interdepartmental team from the organization. And throughout this team, we'll be reviewing and updating content, providing feedback on the design and functionality, and assisting with the larger engagement efforts. So we are looking at about a year-long process from this point before the website is scheduled to go live. So the first phase, we think, will be time for the vendor to get to know the website, talk with our website team, review the site content, functionality, kind of get into the weeds on what's actually going on the back end. In the next phase, we expect to start working on the site navigation and the layout of the site. They'll start putting together, they call them wireframes, but early versions of the design so that we can map out where certain things should flow together. In the third phase, looking at site review and revision, so adding in the design, testing it, seeing if it's working, seeing if it makes sense. And then in the last phase, doing that beta testing, so the really hands-on tests with community members and others, as well as training our staff so that at the point that the website goes live, we have the ability to actually update it independently. So with that, I'm happy to take any questions you may have and seek your approval.
Counselor Sacco?
Thank you. So the quote that was provided, what does that include that takes us to launch? What does that include? Any after support and how long? Can you explain a little bit of that?
Yeah, sure. So the quote that was provided includes the redesign of the website. And then after that point, we would have an ongoing contract for website hosting and support. So as part of their proposal for this project, they included their service level agreement, which detailed what the after-the-fact support includes. And so we would not be hosting the website ourselves. They would be hosting it or providing a place for it to be hosted. They would also provide a help desk so that we could send in tickets if there were issues with the website that needed to be addressed. If there were more significant changes that we wanted to create, we would enter into an additional contract or agreement or change order for them to do additional work after that point.
So this initial proposal is just to launch?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Counselor Brooks?
Thanks for the presentation. It's exciting to get our website updated. My question is sort of a simple one. I mean, you kind of gave some indications, but I'm just curious what made this organization stick out for you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
on the Respondent. So we talked to 5 different companies in the interview round. Several of them looked quite similar in terms of the way that they were set up as a team and the services that they were providing. Some of the things that we really liked about the Juice Boxers, which that wasn't my favorite part about their proposal, I'll be honest. But some of the things that we appreciated about their proposal is that they do unlimited rounds of review. So it was pretty common across some of the other proposals for them to provide 3 rounds of review, and if you wanted to go back and forth further than that, there would be an additional cost.
Okay.
This company was also a design forward option. So everything is a custom design with them, meaning that they would really get to know our organization and our community and build templates for us to use, as opposed to going through their library of 100 templates that they already have and saying, well, this is almost a fit, let's plug it in. So those were a couple of the reasons I think that made them shine.
Thank you. Any other questions? Councilor
Just-
Reyes?
Yeah, just a quick, did you check what other websites they've done or referrals or?
Yeah. As part of their proposal, they needed to submit references, and they submitted as did everybody, submitted a long list of references and examples. And so as part of the scoring for this, we did take a look at examples from other organizations that they had done, and Juicebox had a number of references, including municipalities, libraries, parks districts, but they had at least 5 cities listed on their list.
Any city we know?
No. Oregon, we would be their first client in Oregon.
So where are they based out of?
Iowa is their headquarters, although their company is primarily remote, so they've got folks working from all over, including somebody who works in St. John's, Portland. They made sure to have him participate in the interviews.
Councilor Sacco?
I have a follow-up question to my previous question, but so the after support. So what are we paying today to support our current website, if anything? Because you talked about the changing of hands. And what will be our cost moving forward?
Sure. So I don't know specific numbers offhand. I know that our current hosting costs are increasing because of the sale of the company. So we have been paying, I think it's around $8,000 a year, so a really small amount for ongoing hosting and service. And I believe that this would increase to around $30,000, I think, on an annual basis, which was consistent across the other proposals that we looked at. We asked for each company to provide both their fee for redesigning the website as well as their ongoing costs for service. And I can provide you the specific numbers if that would be helpful. Yeah.
Okay, well, gosh, I thought that Google search trick was mine alone, but I guess other people know. Anyway, I'm so glad that this project's going on because, as you said, this is the #1 way people access information, and it's a little cumbersome right now.
Just a smidge.
Yeah, and the word search thing will be so awesome. I've been through this process once, and it's quite a lengthy process, so I totally understand why you have the whole year to really do a thorough process and do this right, and that's really appreciated. Oh, and my last question was, when you get to the end, will you have council training on the new website?
Yeah, I actually anticipate that we'll ask for volunteers from council to participate in beta testing to actually see if you can, the way that typically works is we give you a task but don't tell you how to complete that task. And then you log into the website or view the website before it launches and try to accomplish the task. And if it's easy, we've done our job. Right. If it's quite challenging, we need to take another look. So I anticipate we'll ask for volunteers from the council for that. Okay. And then we could certainly provide the council with training on how to navigate the website. And certainly some of the, like, if you get questions from the community to find this, here's how you might direct them to find that or use the website. Focusing on that.
Yeah, that'd be great, because I've looked up things like, say, sign ordinances, and it's a little effort to find it. You know?
Yeah, I agree.
So with that, if there's no more questions, would anybody like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution number 5791-24, awarding a contract for website redesign and hosting to Largefoot LLC, DBA Juicebox, and authorizing the city manager to execute a contract.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. So, Counselor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Counselor Brooks,
Aye.
Counselor Sacco,
Aye.
Counselor Hilliard,
Aye.
Counselor Reyes,
Yes.
and I say aye.
Thank you all.
Thanks, Megan. Our next item of general business is consideration of ordinance number 1487-24, establishing a core area parking district tax rate for fiscal year 2024-2025. The public hearing was held on June 24th at our last council meeting, where the first and second reading by title only was conducted. Because the vote for adoption was not unanimous, it's back tonight for the third reading and vote. So if anybody would like to, I'd like to ask if someone would be interested in requesting a vote for a third reading by title only.
I'd like to, can I just say something before I do that? I would like to thank the committee and Counselor Reyes for your work on this. And I love that the people that actually use our parking district, the companies are represented and help us with guidance on how we move forward in our community. And with that, I'll,
May I add
Counselor
one thing?
Reyes.
sure.
I just want, thank you. I also want to add that the people that represent this committee are either business owners, people that work and live in that area of the core area. So if this is something that they're proposing, they are actually very invested in that community because that's either they do business, work there, or live there. So just want to make sure that it's not just someone from another part of the city or anything. These are specific people that serve on this committee. Thank you.
All right, and yeah, so we love our volunteers. Okay, so with that, I'd like to make a motion for a third reading of resolution number, ordinance number 1487-24. By title only, establishing a core area parking district tax rate.
All right. Counselor Gonzalez,
So, no?
for reading?
Oh, for reading, yes.
Second, the motion.
Oh, sorry. Okay, Counselor Sacco,
Aye.
Counselor Hilliard,
Aye.
Yes.
Counselor Reyes. And I vote aye also. And Counselor Brooks?
Aye.
Way out
I vote no.
of- For the reading?
This is the reading, still the reading. I have to read it.
Sorry. Okay.
Ordinance number 1487-24, an ordinance adopting the core area parking district tax rate and credit for fiscal year 24-25.
I'll make a motion for adoption of ordinance number 1487-24, establishing a core area parking district tax rate for fiscal year 2024-25.
Second.
We have a motion and second. So Counselor Sacco,
Aye.
Counselor Hilliard,
Aye.
Counselor Reyes?
Yes.
Counselor Gonzalez?
No.
Counselor Brooks?
Aye.
And I vote aye also. Motion passes. Okay, next we have items removed from consent agenda, of which there were none. And after that, we have council communications. Does anybody have any communications? Counselor Brooks?
Just a reminder about the Viva Tualatin, and then it's in a different place this year at Community Park, and then that Saturday and the Friday before is our first concert in the park at Community Park as well, so hopefully we'll see you there.
And finally, would anybody like to motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Second.
We are adjourned. Oh, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Now we're adjourned.